at in the Reynolds School Districts, and then I always wanted to be in Portland Public. So I was at Roosevelt. I am such a Rough Rider for 13 years. And then I took a few years off, and then a part-time job at Grant presented itself, and I've been happy to be here ever since. I live very close, so it's very convenient, and right now convenience is nice. This is my family. You might have seen Finley on the end a few years back in the Grant school production of Wizard of Oz. She was Auntie M. So there's my son, who's a freshman, and then Ben, who just started his kindergarten year at Rose City Park in the Vietnamese program, which I learned very early on that I will not be helping him with any of that. So it's humbling, and now I definitely understand how other parents struggle when it's a foreign language, literally. Bingo's about to turn 2 on Friday, by the way. We have a new cute little bed for him. I do this because I love math, I love kids, kind of fits. So if I give your kid a positive experience this year with math, I feel like I've done my job. An outline of the class, we just have a warm-up, reviewing math, but then also a non-math question or a chuckle of the day. We do some announcements, and then it's just very predictable, where we take notes and then we practice our notes. So I just feel like coming back to school is also presenting itself, I think, in some students is very hard. So I don't necessarily, we do other kind of activities, but the heart of it is going to look like that. And I think predictability right now and they're tied to their seats because of contact tracing. So this is the best we're doing with this situation. If I can show you Canvas quick. So the front page of my Canvas looks like this. And then the Zoom, which I'm starting to offer on Tuesdays from 4 to 5, and then by appointment would be right here. So it's the front page of my Canvas. If they're sick, you have to first take care of your child, but then you can, if they're well enough to do work, or if they want to see what they missed, have them go to modules. It's all about the modules. They are, organized by date. So if they were gone on Wednesday, they see this quick overview, which is a page. There's a phantom video in there that I think I've cleared up going forward, but it will not look like the other stuff. On my screen, it doesn't look like anything when I'm trying to edit it, but this one is what they do. So they'll, if they're sick, but they can still take notes, they can go to this and they can take the notes. And then we have a calendar, which is where the grades are before we put them into Canvas. And then you've got your practice. So the other thing I wanted to show before I forget is these are the 2 packets. So kids at the beginning of the unit will have a notes packet and a practice packet. Before this, we did a notebook, but I've really done, I feel like, a good job with partial notes. So kids aren't writing as much as before. And so we're just going to do a packet with that. And if they need a notebook, I can teach them how to glue them into their notebook. But their practice, so if they're doing their homework and they forget and you have access to a printer, or even if they just want to do it, and so they're going to write it on a separate sheet of paper, this is their practice. So this would be 1.3 practice, and then they just scroll through the packet, and then they've come up on 1.4. And then the last thing in their packet will always be the review. So if they say they don't know where something is, it's going to be in 2 places, either the notes or the practice packet. I call it practice because I'm trying to not do very much homework if they're taking advantage of class time. If a student is absent, take care of the student. If they're sick, obviously they do not need to do something. But people are contact tracing. They're home because they think they might have been exposed to COVID, and they're fine. So they can do the work. They can log on. So check the day's Canvas. Again, they go to modules, and they can definitely take the notes. If they can't do the homework, they can definitely take the notes. Are these packets quarterly? No, they're every unit. That's a great question. So we just finished unit 1, so they'll have new packets either on Friday or on Monday for unit 2. From me, what is this? 2 more minutes. Okay. You have 4 more minutes for the next class. You're fine. I will update Canvas every 2 weeks. That says weekly, but it's every 2 weeks. And then Synergy, the same. I will do that the same. And so you can be a Canvas observer, which I will copy into the chat. It did take 5 minutes for for me to do it with the younger child. And then there's a YouTube that I think is still current, but it is from last year. I think that just like shows you step by step. You do have to have your kids' Canvas pulled up on their phone next to them. That would really help because then those grades are more accurate. What else can I do for us? So again, extra help, or for me, extra help, I'm doing it Tuesdays for an hour. They're not letting us stay after school because of night school or by appointment. I will encourage your kid. I will give them an environment to ask for help, to make mistakes, a reasonable email response. I do work Mondays, Wednesdays, Friday mornings. So sometimes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm not checking that PPS email. I will remind you to have students, this onus has to be pushed on the students. You can have them CC you on an email, but have them write that email. And I'm friendly. I can be really intense, but hopefully your kid thinks I'm friendly. And I really do like your friends and your kid. Everything is coming from a place of love and care. Sometimes I can just get really intense because I'm really anxious because I really want your kid to do what I want them to do so that they're successful. And then what I need from you, please check your students' grades. If you're not an observer, you pull a seat up next to them, you go to Algebra 1, 2, and you just click on grade. And then you you're talking to your students, you're asking them about notes, you're asking them if they did the practice in class, you're making a plan. You don't have to help them with the algebra, but you do have to help them make a plan. They need to email me, they need to send me a remind text, they need to call up their friend. You can email me if necessary, but I hope that the student has emailed me. And then the telling me I've done enough is just last year, some parents were like, they're going to have to take it in the summer. They can't do this. It's too much stress on the family. And that's okay.
I just want to interrupt really quickly and say that the kids love you. I have not seen this in ages. My math kid is loving math. See, Randy is saying the same. That's You're amazing. Great. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, we're starting algebra next week, so it might change really fast. That's always nice to hear. I'm like,
so far, you're amazing. I'm kidding.
Yes, yeah. Please be positive with your kids and encourage them. Please don't say I hated math. Please don't say I wasn't a math person. Even if you weren't, it just isn't helpful because they just own that. And they can always do retakes. So if they're upset, they can always do retakes. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for letting me teach your child. And if you have any questions,